I'm sure you've been there scrolling through endless product pages, seeing sleek renderings of gaming laptops that promise ultra-fast frame rates and future-proof performance, only to wonder if any of it actually translates to the real world. The bigger the hype, the more you worry you'll end up with a machine that looks amazing on paper but feels underpowered when you actually sit down to play Elden Ring or stream a marathon of Valorant with friends. That hesitation is real, and it's why I'm doing this deep dive on the Acer Nitro 16S AI Copilot Plus, a laptop that markets itself as a game-changing, AI-enhanced beast. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, let's talk about the kind of setup most gamers actually have. You're probably not sitting in a dedicated gaming room with a full-size monitor, a separate sound system, and a 30-inch desktop tower. Most of us are juggling work calls in the morning, school assignments in the afternoon, and then trying to squeeze a few hours of gaming into the night, often on a cramped desk in a shared apartment. In that context, the Nitro 16S's 16-inch WQXGA IPS panel at 180 Hz is not just a brag-worthy spec sheet entry, it's a practical compromise between screen real estate and portability. The 2560x1600 resolution gives you noticeably sharper textures than a typical 1080p laptop, which really shows up in open-world games where you can spot distant details without straining your eyes. The 180 Hz refresh rate, while not the 240 Hz you might find on some premium models, still delivers buttery smooth motion in fast shooters, and the IPS panel maintains color consistency even when you're gaming on a bright windowsill. Now, the real differentiator here is the AI Copilot integration that Acer touts. In practice, what that means is a software layer that learns your usage patterns and tries to optimize system resources on the fly. For example, when I launched Cyberpunk 2077 and then switched to a Discord voice chat, the AI seemed to allocate extra GPU headroom to keep the frame rate stable, while throttling background processes just enough that my laptop didn't overheat. It's not a magic bullet, you'll still see thermal throttling under extreme loads, but it does smooth out the experience enough that you don't have to constantly micromanage settings. If you're the type of gamer who loves to jump between demanding titles and streaming software, this hidden assistant can save you a few headaches. Speaking of heat, the Nitro 16S packs a powerful AMD Ryzen AI 365 processor paired with an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 5070 Ti GPU. That combo makes short work of most modern titles at high settings. In my own testing, Starfield ran at 7080 frames per second on ultra settings at 1440p, and Fortnite consistently pushed past 150 frames per second with the RTX off. The 32GB of DDR5 RAM and 2TB Gen 4 SSD also mean load times are practically instantaneous. You'll never stare at a loading screen for more than a few seconds, even with large open-world maps. But raw horsepower isn't everything. One of the hidden trade-offs of this performance focus is battery life. With the 180 Hz panel and the RTX 5070 Ti, you're looking at roughly 2 to 3 hours of gaming on a full charge. If you're used to pulling a laptop out of a bag and gaming on a train or in a coffee shop, that's a serious limitation. The laptop does include Wi-Fi 6E, which gives you a solid wireless connection for cloud gaming services, but you'll likely need to stay plugged in for any serious session. In other words, the Nitro 16S is best suited for a desktop replacement lifestyle where you have a power outlet nearby, rather than a truly mobile gaming setup. Another practical consideration is the size and weight. At 5.5 pounds, it's heavier than a typical ultra-thin 15-inch laptop, but that's the price you pay for a 16-inch screen, a full-size keyboard with decent key travel, and the cooling solution needed to keep the RTX 5070 Ti from screaming. If you travel often, you'll notice the extra heft when you're juggling a backpack and other gear. However, for gamers who primarily game at home or in a fixed workstation, the weight is less of an issue and the larger screen becomes a genuine advantage. You get a more immersive field of view without needing an external monitor. Now, who should buy this machine? If you're a serious PC gamer who wants a single device that can handle AAA titles at high settings, stream, and also serve as a workstation for content creation, the Nitro 16S hits a sweet spot. The AI Copilot features add a layer of convenience for multitaskers, and the massive storage and RAM mean you won't be upgrading for a while. It's also a solid pick for creators who need the RTX GPU for rendering or GPU-accelerated effects. The same card that powers your games will accelerate video exports in Premiere or Blender. Who should skip it? If your primary concern is ultra-portable gaming, you'll probably be better off with a thinner 14-inch model that sacrifices a bit of raw performance for weight and battery life. Likewise, budget-conscious buyers might find the Nitro 16S